a difference between any other human being and a Muslim is that sense of responsibility, okay? Okay, because we are sailors of the ship and the whole planet is in that ship. 7 billion people right now are riding that ship. So if you're a Muslim, you cannot be incompetent. Because if you're incompetent, you're not a Muslim. And these points are being measured. These two angels, they're measuring, they're counting these points. They're doing your profile all the time. Every human being in the planet is an Islamic teacher. If you're teaching the good thing or the right thing, you're an Islamic teacher. But you are teaching the right thing with a purpose. That purpose is the Quran and the Day of Judgment. You want to be honored. Honor, that's the only real honor. Any honor in this planet is not real honor. That's the true and absolute honor on the Day of Judgment, okay? And that's the real purpose. And someday, Ibrahim, a 10-year-old or an 8-year-old is going to teach you something by looking at you doing something wrong. He's going to tell you that this is something you shouldn't do because you look, or your name is Ibrahim and you seem like a Muslim, you shouldn't do that. So you, Ibrahim, can be my Islamic teacher for something that you're going to teach me. Okay, Ali ibn Abi Talib, the companion and the brother of the Prophet said that whoever has taught me even one thing in life is my teacher, and I'm his student. Effective scholars of the history of Islam, Shafi'i is a Palestinian scholar. He became the grand scholar, a mufti, at the age of 12. Okay, and he was the most famous scholar at the age of 15 in the world. Every human being should know the true message of Allah. Okay, every human being should be saved. That's your job, my job. Okay, every human being in the planet. We should be looking at the prayers and the zakat and the fasting of how Allah has helped us. In what? What does a prayer do? Prayer connects everybody. Okay, fasting makes you get connected to everybody who cannot afford food. Okay, zakat literally connects you with every poor in the world who cannot afford anything. Hajj brings everybody together, makes everybody experience everybody coming together in the exact same place, same time. There cannot be Hajj in England or America or local Hajj is being performed in every country, or that's just every 100 miles. No, just one place, everybody's got to show up. You should not be listening about what's going on in Palestine. You should be reading about it. You should be teaching the history of Palestine to everybody, of what went wrong at what point and how many times and who was behind this and how did we learn from that. Okay, you first of all, you read so much that nobody should know more about what's going on actually in that region than you. Okay, you need to give yourself a numerical target. 10,000, that's the number. 10,000 girls your age, find them, connect with them. Social media, whatever platform you're going to create, connect with them. Your mommy and my mommy, they just used to believe whatever everybody told them. You are not that girl, Alvina. You ask questions. You get to the bottom of the real things. Like, you know what? If it's not going to make sense to me, I'm not going to buy whatever you're selling. That's the potential Allah has given you because you were born inside the age of YouTube and information, Google and whatever. You can read up anything because that is the problem that the last two generations did. We are a bunch of spectators. Spectators are the biggest problems in Islam. They're just feeling bad Muslims. Feeling bad Muslims is not enough, sorry. And we all know that. You're old enough to know feeling bad is not going to solve Palestine. Doing the right thing is going to solve Palestine.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Amra and I'm 11 years old. I'm from Leicester. So today I'm going to be introducing our special guest, Sahil Adeem. Sahil Adeem is a visionary thought leader. He's a psychologist and he's an Islamic teacher. He has many interesting perspectives. So Sahil is basically promoting people and inspiring them to have brighter views of the future and brighter views of Islam. He is also the founder of IMS, and he's also the CEO of Source Code Academia. So we're really interested to ask him really interesting questions, and we hope that you enjoy this podcast.
Amra, that's quite a detailed introduction, but I am not a CEO of Source Code. A girl is like you. A girl is a CEO of Source Code. Okay? Her name is Sadia. Okay, Amra?
Yes.
So take up the mission, okay? Yeah. So let's just let's get started so that I can talk to you guys, okay? Let's just first of all gather up everybody's mind into one direction. Try and get everybody to line up into why we're here. So I am assuming you have a lot of questions already lined up for me. And during those question and answers, which I'm going to be giving, I'll be I'll be giving the general idea of why we should all come together, especially at your age. Okay, you were 11-year-old, Amra, right? So let's just
Yes.
get everybody's age first. Whoever's in the room, let's get everybody's age.
I'm 14.
I'm sorry?
I'm 14.
You're 14. What's your name?
Muhammad Ibrahim Arsalan.
Oh, Ibrahim. Oh, I remember Ibrahim. Ibrahim, awesome, awesome. You have been so hospitable. I can still taste the lamb chops that you fed me. Awesome. Thank you so much for the food. It was
It's an
it
honor
was I
to.
think the best food I had all year. Okay.
Yeah, I was honored to, help.
No, no, you kidding me? It was such a pleasure. Thank you. Yes. So Ibrahim, yeah, Ibrahim was 14. Amra was 11. Who else do we have?
I'm 10.
You're 10. What's your name?
Muhammad Momin.
Muhammad Momin is 10-year-old. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Who else do we have?
Me. My name is Mohammed Aslam Farhan. I am 12 years old and I'm from Bradford.
Bradford, Aslan, 12. Okay. Okay. Who else?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Alwina and I'm 16.
Alvina, 16. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Alvina. And that's it? That's all we have? Okay. Okay. So that's quite a bunch we have. Okay. So I'll tell you why I want to talk to you guys, and I hope we're going to talk a lot during the next, few weeks and months, because I wanted to give a responsibility, a very big responsibility to you guys, because you guys are 10, 11, 12, 15, 16. That means now it's time. It's time that we talk about the real things, okay? And the real things are very exciting, okay? And the best thing about us, the common thing about us is the best thing, and that's the purpose of life, the doctrine of Islam, okay? That's the common thing between us. And the one thing that actually Islam does, which no other philosophy can has done to human beings, is that it puts a great responsibility upon us. So if you're not understanding that responsibility and if you're not fulfilling it, then it's a big failure on our part, and we cannot stand tall and have any kind of self-esteem or any kind of self-confidence. We should not have that if you're not fulfilling that responsibility. So if a Muslim who knows that he is a Muslim, he structures himself. Okay, he talks to people. He knows that there is no off day in Islam. Every day is a responsibility, and it's the most exciting job. Okay, because there's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of milestones to achieve. There's a lot of goals that you got to set, and by the age you're 30, everyone in the world should be inspired by you. If you have not done that, that means there was some shortcoming. And then since I know I haven't done that, so I want to warn you guys and tell you that the path that I took, there were so many, distractions that I couldn't really inspire the world by the age of 30, or let's just say 40. So between the age of 30 and 40, the whole planet should be vibrating from the frequency of your words, your written words, your spoken words, your actions, your projects. And people should be trying to name their kids after you guys. People should be trying to make their kids walk the way you walk, talk the way you talk, and do whatever you guys are doing. That's the power of inspiration, okay? And that's the job. That's what Islam demands from every Muslim. Islam is not about a person being for his own self alone. Islam is all about a person being for the rest of the human beings, trying to take them to a certain point inside a purpose, a strategy. And a strategy needs a lot of competence. And that competence takes time. And you guys have time. And I don't want you to waste your time. I need you guys to be super developed. like literally superheroes, okay, and doing so many things which are real, which are measurable, and which are, for the greater purpose. And I'll tell you what that is, don't worry. But what I need you to do is to understand that, a difference between any other human being and a Muslim is that sense of responsibility, okay? And you guys are like captains on the ship of this planet. This planet is a ship, and you are the captain. And you better be, taking this planet toward a certain direction. That's what a Muslim is. That's the job. So let's just start with your questions so that I can understand you guys and I can understand how you talk, the way you guys think, so that I can tell you how to get inside that ship and the hull of the ship. The hull is where the captain stands tall and directs the rest of the crew to take the ship towards a certain direction, okay? And there's a lot of, turbulence in the sea. There's a lot of storms that are going to come your way. I promise you this right now. That's what makes Islam the most exciting journey, because it prepares you and it warns you for all those storms and all those winds and all those waves. It's going to crash right in the way of wherever you want to go. So it's not going to be smooth sailing, and that's why you need to be prepared. That's why you need to be competent. Okay, a Muslim and an incompetent person cannot. It's a grammatical mistake. If you say a Muslim is incompetent, that's a grammatical error in this statement. Okay, a Muslim this word already encapsulates the word competence. So if you're a Muslim, you cannot be incompetent, because if you're incompetent, you're not a Muslim. Okay, because we are sailors of the ship, and the whole planet is in that ship. 7 billion people right now are riding that ship. Nothing less. Don't ever think anything less than the globe, okay? You're not just here for your mother and father, your brother, your sister, your wives and kids. No. You're here for the 7 billion people, and everyone should know you through your work. Okay? You're not just a name in the file of some country in some directory. No. You're a mission. You better be represented by the work you've done. Okay, and everyone in Brazil and Chile, in Siberia and Alaska and New Zealand, everybody should know you through your work, and they better know you. Okay, that's the job. I'll tell you what that work stream is, what kind of job you have to do. But first, let me get to know you. So let's just start with anybody. Anybody who wants to go first. I'm assuming you already have some sort of questions, swirling around in your minds by the age of 10 and above. I want to know how you think in England.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Alwina and I'm from London. This is our first episode. This is our first episode on our new podcast series, Awakening Young Minds with Sahil. We have so many questions to ask Sir Sahil, and we hope you can join us on this journey of discovering Islam. We'll be talking about so many topics ranging from the Sirah to Palestine, time travel, Dajjal, and so much more. So we hope you can continue watching.
Inshallah. That's good. And a lot more, actually. You just touched the surface. There's so much more that we're going to talk about, inshallah. Okay.
Sir Sahil,
Yes.
my question to you is what were you like a child? Like, for example, your hobbies, your heroes, your role models, like as you were growing up.
Well, how old are you, Mo? You're 10, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me go back to when I was 10. Yeah, I was in Chicago when I was 10. That's a city in America.
Oh.
And I was super into sports. I have two brothers. One is older than me, one is younger than me. So I was always into physical sports, and I was playing football a lot, baseball, and inside the house we used to play cricket. And I had lots and lots of friends. And because I was in team sports, right? And you better be in team sports and individual sports at the same time. So when I was growing up, at the age of 10, I had a few teachers who I was, and I still am practically in love with. There was this man who used to teach us mathematics, and he used to connect mathematics with the, Quran, and he used to do it in such an amazing way that he used to give us little tasks about, how to look at the Quran and how to look at mathematics. And I remember going to school, and this is the power of a great teacher, and you better understand how much power a human being can have on people. Because I remember waking up, and I used to get excited to go to school because I wanted to see that guy, right? And I remember there was this other teacher, Sister Martha, and I used to, because he used to teach us English. So these are two different places, two different kind of teachers. And at this point in time, I was, I'm just telling you what I remember, because you asked me about the hero thing. All I was used to think was whether this teacher is going to come to school today or not. And I used to, as soon as I used to enter my school, I used to start looking for these guys. Okay. And as soon as I used to see them, it would just make my whole day worthwhile, right? It's worth coming to school. And at some point in time, I remember I must have happened many times, but I remember that one time that I know when I got to know that that teacher was not in school, he had taken an off day or whatever. It was like a shock for me, It was like such a sad news that I got, because I used to structure the whole day, and I used to sleep in the night thinking in the morning I have to go attend that teacher's class. That's the kind of power. And I'm pretty sure that teacher didn't even know how excited I used to get just to be in his class. Yeah. So I'm just trying to tell you that that's the impact of one human being on others. And, how a human being is waking up early in the morning just to wait, just to come to another building just to see me, That's the power he had over me. That's the power of every teacher, every great teacher who great teachers have that kind of power over their students. So, but I was a very, very active, and still am, very active boy. I was always in sports. I was always in the class, and I never used to miss school because of these 2 or 3 teachers. And these were my heroes. Still are, actually. Those people are my heroes.
Aslan, go ahead. Your question.
I have a question for you, Sir Sahil. When and how did you realize you were a Muslim?
Oh my God, that's a very, very good question. I realized that I am a Muslim. I knew I was a Muslim. Every child knows he's a Muslim, but he doesn't really know it, right? What it really means, right? And by that same age, 10, 11, 12 maybe, I realized that this is not some, pin that I carry on my sweater or my blazer. This is something else. Being a Muslim means something else. And you know what? There was another guy, a teacher, who started building this thought inside me that, you can't just call yourself a Muslim and think you're just going to, be saved on the day of judgment, or that's just not enough. If anything, you're going to be in a lot more trouble because you're a Muslim, and if you don't do anything about it. So being an American, being an Englishman, or being a Pakistani, or being an Indian doesn't really get you any points in the big picture, in the real things, but being a Muslim gets you a lot of points, given that you're doing something about it. And these points are being measured. These 2 angels, they're measuring, they're counting these points. They're doing your profile all the time, every single second of your life. So in the day of judgment, Allah's Prophet said that, there's going to be a ledger. Ledger means, your deeds balances. What kind of good deeds or bad deeds. And that ledger is going to start from the ground, and it's going to climb up towards the heavens, because these angels are storing all of that data in the air, just because that's the way they write. The scrolls are going to go up, and you can read whatever you've done. So that's the kind of age that I realized that this is not just another ID card. This is a very big responsibility, and and I started becoming cautious. Being too casual was not an option about life and things in general. And I started asking questions whether playing baseball is allowed or playing cricket is allowed, because I started realizing that if I'm under such a big responsibility, I better not be, involved in something which is going to get me in trouble. And that's how a child thinks, and that's how you guys are going to think. And you're going to start doing minuses and pluses regarding, whatever deeds that you're going to be doing, whatever actions, whatever things that you're involved in sports or studies or whatever. And by 15, 16, you realize that Islam is even more than this. Islam is not about just, not doing the wrong thing or doing good deeds and creating hasanas and sawab and everything. No, that's one of the many things that you got to be aware of. Islam puts a lot more pressure on you, and that pressure develops you, makes you a way bigger personality and way stronger personality. So I remember I was 16 or 17, I remember, and there were a couple of friends of ours who were going to this little gathering of a lot of friends. It's just more like a pre-game meeting that, we used to go to. And they were all talking about, their placement and what they're going to do and what's the job. And this coach was giving us analogies about life, and he was talking about the game, but he was giving analogies from life. And I was thinking, since you're giving analogies about life, let me give you this speech, because I'm a Muslim. I can give you a lot bigger analogies of life. And he didn't know what I was going to say, but I started talking about, the purpose of life, and this is what we're supposed to do. We need to big muscles, and we need this kind of defense against Iblis, and this kind of offense, and we got to do this and that. And everybody just went quiet, because everybody was like, oh my God, this guy is too serious about, it's just a football game, man. And then the coach said, you know what, never speak in my locker room again. I remember that day. I was like, what did I do? What did I say that was so wrong? But my friends who were with me, they, on the way back from the game, I remember them telling me that, you know what, you are on a totally different mission in life, man. You and I don't live in the same planet. I remember that boy's words. He said, we don't even share the same planet, man, because I'm just living life daily. But you got your own, horizon mapped out. And even though I didn't really have mapped out anything, but his words really gave me that little perspective that I better lock my horizon, what I'm supposed to achieve, and what am I going to do. And these few days of memories just popped up as soon as you asked me this question. I never thought about it actually for such a long time about these days. But what I'm saying is, when I was growing up, especially in my early teens, there were so many boys and girls who used to do so many things which I'm sure in England you see. And I used to not even get, a bit of temptation doing that, because I used to, all of a sudden, this perspective of Islam gave me this IQ that, okay, these are the people who I'm supposed to help. I mean, I was not looking down upon them. You need to understand. I was thinking, the Quran and the teachers have given me that little sash, that I am the team leader now. A Muslim is a team leader. And he doesn't look down upon people who are, who are not aware, who are not Muslims, or even if they're Muslims, they're not really at the task. You're supposed to help them. That actually gives you a lot more responsibility. Rather than judging them, the judgment was upon me. So as soon as I used to be in my friends, they were, doing whatever they were doing, I used to, start to come up with techniques of not getting them riled up or not getting them repulsed by, another lecture, because I knew we never liked lectures from our professors. So I used to come up with different techniques of how to tell them of how wrong all of this is and why you should not be doing all of this. in a lot of intelligent ways so that I can keep that friendship and I can get that, that impression that, I'm not a boring professor and I'm as cool as these guys are, but I'm the team leader, and that team leadership never left me. And that's what happened. I mean, these kind of titles were given by my teachers to all Muslim kids in my class. And it's not your job. I'm giving you the entitlement. You all are team leaders in all the kids that you're going to be hanging out with in your school, in your games, in your neighborhood, in your family. You are the team leader. And it's not about them being bad people. No one's good or bad because you guys are too young to understand how to structure your life. But it's not about you judging them. It's about you owning them. You have to own up to your friends. You got to take care of them. They're your flock. Okay? They're not lower than you or you're not higher than them. You could be lower than them if you're not doing your job, taking care of that flock. Okay? You're the big brother and the big sister. Even if you're younger in age, but by responsibility that Islam gives you, you become the big brother. And I'm telling you by example, I know many boys who were many years younger than me have helped me and taught me so much stuff you can't even imagine. At times when I didn't even know, I took advice from them because they were a lot more clear about what Islam demands. Okay, so by the age of 20 or 25, you will know the value of the people who have put enough time and enough hours reading and understanding books. Right now, you're too young to know that. So right now, all you can understand is whether you are the leader or not. I promise you, you are the team leader. Of every group of friends you'll ever walk into, you are the team leader. And what is the game? That's the game of doing the right thing and making them understand the right way. If you start giving lectures every time they see you, they're going to stop seeing you. So don't give lectures every time. Come up with intelligent ways of making them understand. And that's done by the tool of empathy. And you guys have more empathy than any old man you're ever going to bump into in England because you're born with empathy. So try and see what would you listen to if you were in his shoes and use those kind of words to make him listen to those kind of words. What kind of technique you would like for your own self if you were doing whatever they're doing and you're trying to help them. Okay? That's how easy it is. Just people that make a big rocket science out of it. Just try and be in their shoes and see what kind of help they would require. But before you give them any advice or try and be the team leader, you better know what the right thing to do is, right? So you're going to find out a lot of friends who are going to start doing drugs. I'm telling you this right now. Or they're going to go into, gangs and weapons and I don't know what kind of, things they're going to try and make things seem cool in front of you. It's your job to know why this is wrong before you tell them that it's wrong, because they're going to ask you why it's wrong. You better read up to it and understand why this is wrong. You can't just say, oh, because God forbade it, or because you're a Muslim, you shouldn't. That's just not going to cut it. You got to come up with a very strong way of knowing why and what kind of damage these kind of things do. And be that guy who's going to pay the price of maybe being boring. Be that guy. Don't worry. It's okay to be boring than to be that kind of cool. Okay? Because a team leader is still a team leader, even if it's boring. Okay? You cannot just come down from that pedestal of being the team leader. Okay? You are the team leader. I promise you this. And I need a lot of kids in Australia and in America, in South America, in Japan, in France, learning from you in less than 6 months. You need to prove that you have read up to it. You talk to enough people. You ask a million questions from everyone you bump into, even if he's 2 years older than you. Start asking questions. Don't be shy. The more questions you're going to ask, the better and the quicker and sooner you're going to learn. And then you're going to be a better team leader. That's the job. And the sooner you're going to take up and wear that sash and you're going to see and feel the muscle because people are going to start coming to you and ask questions. That's an amazing feeling, I'm telling you. Amazing feeling because that is God's help coming your way. I mean, God only sends people to ask questions towards those people who God wills. So very soon there should come a day when people should come and ask you questions regarding big things and real things, right? That's the status you need to achieve in less than 6 months or a year. That's it. That's the time I'm giving you. Even if you're 10, all the 10-year-olds come and ask you questions. Okay, that's the most exciting thing. So I hope you get this. I have given enough detail and do the whole picture in front of you. Okay, so let's just
Muhammad Ibrahim, you want to go ahead with your question? You can ask either the first one or the second one, whichever you prefer.
So, Sahil, my question was, when and why did you decide to become an Islamic teacher?
Oh, I was always an Islamic teacher when I was even when I was 14, 13. Listen, I'll tell you a little secret. Every human being in the planet is an Islamic teacher. If you're teaching the good thing or the right thing, you're an Islamic teacher. The Prophet ﷺ said, every good thing is Islam. Okay? So it's better that we become Islamic teachers than to get any kind of other person who doesn't even call himself a Muslim teaching us Islam. Because if he's teaching us the right thing, he's an Islamic teacher. But you are teaching the right thing with a purpose. That purpose is the Quran and the Day of Judgment. You want to be honored. Honor, that's the only real honor. Any honor in this planet is not real honor. That's the true and absolute honor on the Day of Judgment, okay? And that's the real purpose, which you are going to try and achieve here. So you are going to be an Islamic teacher if you're teaching the right thing. If you're forbidding from doing wrong things to any kid your age, you're an Islamic teacher, okay? And there is no one special Islamic teacher in the world. Every Muslim is an Islamic teacher, no matter how old he is or she is. You better write that down somewhere, okay? And someday, Ibrahim, a 10-year-old or an 8-year-old is going to teach you something by looking at you doing something wrong. He's going to tell you that this is something you shouldn't do because you look or your name is Ibrahim and you seem like a Muslim. You shouldn't do that. He's going to become your Islamic teacher. He's going to be 8-year-old. So everybody's an Islamic teacher. And you better understand that no human being, especially me, starting from me, I am not the absolute teacher. Our job is to become the absolute student. If you're a great student, you can become an Islamic teacher for everything. Okay? So I have to learn from you. You have to become my Islamic teachers about things that you're learning in your lives so that I can become your student. Okay? That's the beauty about being Muslim, because we're always a teacher and always a student at the same time. So you, Ibrahim, can be my Islamic teacher for something that you're going to teach me. Okay, Ali bin Abi Talib, the companion and the brother of the Prophet ﷺ, said that whoever has taught me even one thing in life is my teacher, and I'm his student. Anything good that he's taught me, anything good. And I owe him, as a student would owe to his teacher. So you should understand what an Islamic teacher is, and you'll find out that you're already an Islamic teacher, not just for for kids who are younger than you, but for elders, adults who are older than you. Okay, and when a younger teacher teaches an older student, the older student smiles in Islam because we want our kids to become our teachers. That's the beauty about Islam. We train our kids to become our teachers. We don't train our kids to become our students. Okay. That's the Muslim cycle. So when you're going to be old, you'll be training your young ones and your juniors, and you're going to be old enough to have kids. Your kids better become your teachers. That's how confident I want to make you, so that you can become my teacher as soon as possible. Because I need a lot of teachers. Everybody does. Okay, the more the teachers, the better I'm going to learn, right? So I found out this concept when I was 15, 16, mid-teens, not too late teens, because I was in a class where I was given this. It's called a Yusra, a little mission. And there were 11 students in my class. They were all given this mission from our Islamic teacher, okay? And he told us to connect with each other and adopt 20 or 30 students and try and transfer this knowledge to those students in less than this year. And we had to pick up our students and gather those students and train whatever we had learned from certain books. He gave us those books. So I realized at the time that there is no age for a teacher to become a teacher. Shafi'i, one of the most prolific, most effective scholars of the history of Islam, Shafi'i, is a Palestinian scholar who lived in Yemen, by the way, later on. He became the grand scholar, a mufti, at the age of 12. Okay, and he was the most famous scholar at the age of 15 in the world in his own time. So there's no age to become a grandmaster of things. So you better, ante up the game, okay? Better ante up, better buck up and start putting things in your knapsacks and start taking up this job now. Okay.
Okay. Amra, you're next, and Azlan. After that, it's your turn. So all of you got some homework now. You have to go find something that you can teach Sahil. Okay, so Amra, go ahead.
That is such an amazing homework. So let's just put a timeline on that as well. So whoever is Aslan is in Bradford. When I'm going to be in Bradford, I'm going to call you on stage and you're going to give a 5 or 10-minute session about stuff that you're going to teach me and everybody else there. Aslan, can you do that? You're still on mute, Aslan. I know you're trying to unmute yourself.
Yes, I will.
Inshallah. I always say inshallah whenever you say about anything about the future. Okay.
Inshallah.
Okay. Pick up a topic, anything. Okay. Just be confident. Be yourself. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything. Okay. Yeah. Jay.
Go ahead, Amra.
Next.
Go ahead.
So my question is, what is the purpose of life, and what achievement should we make as a Muslim in life?
Purpose of life is to save every human being from a few things. Number one, every human being should know the true message of Allah. Okay, every person, every human being should be saved. That's your job, my job. Okay, every human being in the planet. We need to get everybody towards Allah. Whoever is born in our time, every human being who's born in our time is under our purpose. Okay? Every human being, not even one can be, taken for granted. You cannot miss anybody. Amra, you with me? Yeah.
Yes.
And once you got given that message, you have to make sure the message is given so well that he not just wants to be in the game, but wants to be, an effective part of the game rather than just a listener or a spectator. Okay. How eloquently you're going to translate this message of the Quran to the world and make everybody understand what Allah wants and where Allah wants every human being to be, what Allah is. Starting from there, you have to introduce the message to everybody. That's what the prophets did, right? 124,000 prophets did this to everybody. And once you've given the whole message, you got to make sure that it is easy for them to come towards the message. For that, you need to become, enough power. You have enough power in the world. And everyone that in Islam for the same purpose should come and join you. And you're going to create a big network of creating a platform where people are going to come in and, because you cannot just go to every 7 billion people's houses and, ring their doorbells, right? You gotta make a big network and try and get this message in the best possible way to everybody in the world, and not just convey it, make sure they adhere to it. And how are you going to make them adhere to it? You're going to create a system, Amra, inshallah, you will create a system of policies and systems where people would fall in love with Islam, understanding what kind of rights that they get, what kind of ease and comfort and liberty and freedom that they're going to get pursuing the right message and progressing towards the the common goal that you're going to present to them. That's it. That's just the one purpose. Get everybody in the same ship. Tell them where the ship is going and why it's going the way that the point is going to. Okay, that's it. That's it. But why would anybody come to your ship, right? You got to make it very sensible, very, very sensible. Islamic scholars should be the most sensible, most appealing means most attractive. The way he's going to narrate the message should be the most attractive message. It cannot be boring or bland. He has to be exciting and full of vigor. Okay? Because that calls for the natural psychology. Everybody wants that kind of teacher, right? So an Islamic messenger or a teacher cannot be incompetent and cannot be boring or bland and has to be most crystal clear about what he wants everybody to do. And that's what people want from, and that's what you want from every teacher, right? You don't want any kind of incompetent teacher teaching you wrong mathematics or physics or chemistry, right? You want them teaching you right things and not just teaching you, enabling you to become a better teacher of mathematics than this guy himself. That's the job. Inshallah, okay? So make sure you have to find the people of your kind of purpose and connect with them all the time so that they can get your job done for you. This is not a one man's job. Okay? Islam is the whole ummah's job, and you need to connect the ummah. That's how you're going to get that purpose done.
Aslan, you go ahead, and then after Aslan is Muhammad Momin. Get ready for your question. Okay, and then it's going to be Alwina.
It was mine.
My second question to Sir Sahil Adeem is, when Allah is Ar-Rahman, then why did He decide to test us when He already knows that we are weak and we will sin?
Allah is not just Ar-Rahman. Allah is a lot more. Allah has a lot more attributes. Okay. Now, Allah did not decide to test us. We decided to go to Allah and make Him test us. Okay. Make sure you understand that. It's the other way around. We went to Allah and we said, we need to be tested. Okay? Aslan, got that? All of us. You're too young to understand, let alone remember. A lot of old people, most of the old people don't even remember this, but there will come a time when you're going to see the whole world and reflect upon the universe. You'll find out what was that day and what was it like actually when you were there making that promise. Okay? And everybody went to Allah Azza and you and me together, okay? Because we are in the same time, right? You and I are both alive at the same time. So we were there at the same time. And we went to Allah Azza and we said, we need to be tested for whatever the biggest gift that you have. You created such a big, magnificent gift for your creation. We need that. And Allah Azza said, well, this requires a test, and you guys are not going to fulfill it. Well, most of you guys. And we said, no, we will. Oh, God, please test us for it. So Allah, He didn't just put us through this test. He gave us a lot of tools and instruments and, help. And He filled our backpacks with so many things so that, so that we can actually get this job done easier and sooner. And then not just that, He sent hundreds of thousands of people downstairs so that they can remind us of all of this and they can, help us through the journey. And then He started writing books for us, messaging for us. Allah is writing books so that, He can help, even though, we didn't know any better, but He knew everything. So we were just too arrogant at that time, very arrogant. Okay. And Allah says in the Quran that you were very arrogant that time when you came to me and you said, we want this. Allah says that in the Quran, when you were coming to me, you didn't know what you were asking for, and you were so arrogant that you just wanted it. You said, oh, we're going to achieve any and every test you're going to give us. And still, I gave you so much help. Hundreds and thousands of people are going to come in, try and train you guys, even though that's not part of the test. A test is without the book, without the prophets, right? And many a nation went came into this planet and died without the books, right? The Quran came in way late. The Torah came in way late. After Adam al-Islam and his sons, when he was living with, his progeny in the planet, till Musa al-Islam came, there was no book in this planet, right? So all those people, same task, no books. We, same task, but the Quran is here. How easy it is for us to do this test, right? So this is just a bonus. And a lot of things that he told us to do, like the prayer, or the fasting, or the Hajj, or the zakat, and alms, and alms, ALMS, alms is the zakat, right? We pay alms to the poor. And so many other things that Islam requires us to do, which Allah made mandatory. They help us to become stronger and, become connected. And it's a reminder of the same thing. So we are being helped as a bonus, even though that was not the agreement. Allah just gave us these bonuses, and then we still don't do it, right? We still become ungrateful. Allah says, you know what? I'm giving you everything, and you're still being ungrateful. You're such an ungrateful species or creation that even though you came to me and I told you don't, but you still wanted it, and now that I'm helping you through it, you still are not grateful. You still are complaining, right? So that's how you look at it.
Muhammad Momin, if you want to ask your question next, and then Muhammad Ibrahim, you ask your question, please, and then Alwina can ask the question about Palestine. Okay? Muhammad Momin.
My question to you is like, when people disrespect the Prophet, like, how should we kind of respond? Like, people just disrespect and just sometimes we stay silent.
No, well, you first of all, the three things that you should understand when this happens. Okay, one, there has to be a punishment for whoever disrespects the Prophet, but that punishment has to come from some government. Okay, some law has to be there. That law has to punish them. So if you're in a land where there is no law like that, we have to create a land somewhere, which we already have, and create a law, which there is a law. Okay, but those people who follow that law, they don't follow all of Islam. If they were following all of Islam, nobody would have disrespected the Prophet anywhere in the planet. Okay, so since there is nothing like that, no system like that right now, an individual in England or America or Germany or France cannot do anything about it, which he wants to, okay? And unless there is a system that is running to create that kind of law and influence the world to make that law in the UN, and a lot of people have gone to the UN to make that law, okay, against Islamophobia and disrespecting our Prophet. We've urged the UN to make that law because there are so many laws that are global. And we are globally present, that there should be a law. But since there is no law yet in countries, you first and foremost, you need to go and talk to this person, okay? And try and first empathize with this guy. Why is he doing it? And talk to him. Don't be afraid of these people, okay? You're the team leader. You got to help them. And make sure that he comes to a level where he understands how wrong he is. Not just emotionally, that he is just going crazy, but also rationally, because a lot of people don't even know that they're disrespecting our Prophet or any Prophet. Okay? Now, Moment, make sure you understand, when I say the Prophet, our Prophet, I mean Jesus. Okay, Moment, I mean Jesus, alayhi salam, Isa ibn Maryam. Moment, talk to me.
Okay.
You're in England, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You should stop people from disrespecting Isa ibn Maryam or Jesus, because people disrespect Jesus, and you know that, and you'll know that when you're going to grow up. And if you can stop them from disrespecting Jesus, how are you going to stop them? Talk to them, argue, rationalize why they should never disrespect Jesus. Okay, he's a prophet of Allah. And once you're going to get that kind of momentum going on, you're going to do the same thing about our beloved Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because both of these prophets, or all of the prophets, I'm just saying both because you're living in a land, you're currently living in a land where Jesus is disrespected way more than Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay? And we as Muslims protect the honor of all the prophets, not just a prophet, okay, or the last prophets. So once you get equipped mentally and emotionally means you need to have the courage to go and sit him down. Tell him, sit down, I want to talk to you, man. Not that you're wrong, not just that you're very wrong about this. There's so much other problems that we better start talking about. Because maybe you got some domestic problem going on, which you're so emotionally riled up for, and you're venting out all this anger against, prophets now. So you start with Jesus, and you're gonna get enough momentum build, emotional and mental. Mental means you have enough knowledge to argue and place your arguments right, so that you can talk to these people. But unless there's a law in the United Nations or a government in some country around the world, in somewhere around the world, which can apprehend these people who are disrespecting any prophet, any, from Adam alayhi salam to Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, okay? Any prophet. Unless some government puts some law somewhere, you can do just 2 or 3 things here. First of all, understand that you cannot just be a spectator, okay? You cannot just be, oh, you know what, I'm not going to do anything about it. Don't get immune to this. Sit them down and talk to them. They should know that you're not going to just, ignore it. You have to do something about it. And you need to be, mentally and emotionally strong. Emotionally strong means you have the courage to go and sit them down. Tell them to sit down and have a dialogue with them, okay? Talk to him. Most people will listen. Some will not, but most will. And even if they don't listen, at that point in time, you have to sow enough seeds in their minds that in a few years, when they're going to grow up and start thinking rationally, they'll know that Momin was right. Because they'll develop enough respect about certain people in their life, and then they'll be like, if I can respect these kind of people and my teachers or whatever kind of people he's going to respect, then he's naturally going to know the demeanor of the prophets, of how big the stature is. And these prophets, alayhi salam, should better be respected in his minds. And you're going to think alone, don't worry. But if you don't talk to them and if you don't have dialogue with these people, then you are going to get immune to all of this. And this is going to become one of those many things that are going to be happening around you. You're not going to be doing anything about it. So I urge you to have dialogue with people. Start talking to them, okay? And talk at your own level. It means be yourself. Okay, but if you do not know what to talk about, then don't talk to them. Don't say the wrong things to them, okay? If you know what to talk about, then do talk to them. Do not let go of this opportunity. Nothing happens as a coincidence in Islam, okay? Nothing happens. There are no accidents in Islam. This man did not accidentally come your way. God was testing you so that you can practice your speech, your communication skill, your empathy, and your courage. That was a test. God wanted to develop you. Whatever is going to happen to that guy is going to happen between him and God. But whatever is going to happen to you is this test that we gave you, this guy who was disrespecting Isa ibn Maryam or Jesus or Moses or Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why did you just remain quiet and not do the right thing? Why didn't you just pat him down, made him listen, gave him enough of sense in the most politest way, by the way, okay? So that first time he's going to listen. And he's going to try and absorb things. And he's going to repent, and he's going to, have enough contemplation alone that I shouldn't be doing this to any human being, let alone prophets, which people revere and people would die for, okay? Because if you become spectators now, by the time you'll be able to do something about it, you won't be able to do anything because you wouldn't have developed that momentum, that courage, that speech, that communication skill. You better start practicing on these kids right now. Because all you're going to get is kids who are going to be disrespecting any prophet, right? You're not going to be hanging out with adults or 40-year-old, 50-year-old who will be doing that in front of you. Okay? So the message is you have to do something about it. I just told you what to do about it. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Muhammad Ibrahim, please.
Why are things like Salah, Saum, and Hajj important? Is it not enough for us to be good people?
No, it's not at all enough to be good people, because you cannot be good people and not listen to the creator of the people. Okay? That's rule one. Rule two is whatever the creator of the people. I just told you the journey, right? When we went to Allah Azza wa Jal, and then he said, okay, I'm going to give you something. So that's going to help you get to your purpose, right? Remember the whole journey I just was talking to about? When we went to Allah Azza wa Jal before we were born, that we want this test. So we are in a test here. Okay. So Ibrahim, if I tell you that going to the gym is going to give you enough of a muscle, you know, going to the gym gives you muscle, right? Ibrahim?
Yes.
So it's good for you.
Yes.
If you don't go to the gym, you're gonna get, well, you're not gonna remain that healthy, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna run, then you are gonna have to run to the hospital, right? If you're not gonna run enough miles every week, then you are gonna you'll have to be run to the hospital, right? Somebody's gonna run to the hospital taking you with him. So running is good for you. Going to the gym is good for you because it is a requirement of your body. Just like that. Understand this example, all of you guys. In Islam, I'm giving you an analogy, okay? An analogy. This is an analogy. It's not written in the Quran. But think for a second that if going to the gym was a mandatory part of Islam, what would you think of the book? You would have thought of the book as a very productive book, right?
Yes.
That is helping us develop our muscle and be healthy. If running 9 miles a day would have been, or if it were a mandatory thing, you would have been thinking, yeah, there shouldn't be, nobody should be complaining about this. Running is a must in Islam. Just like that, you better understand that whenever something is prescribed as a compulsory action or a deed, like prayer or zakah or fasting or hajj or anything Islam has prescribed, anything, okay, being kind, respecting your elders, it's a compulsory thing. There's no other way, no two ways about this, okay? That means that it is a productive thing. Without that, you're going to go down. Allah does not need our prayers, which means we need those prayers. Allah does not need muscular men. We need muscular men. We send our boys to the gyms and the playing grounds, right? Or the girls. We do not need unhealthy women. So we send our women to the gyms and make them run and, play healthy games. Just like that, Allah does not need fasting. Allah does not need the hajj or the zakat. Allah does not need our money. We do. So he made all of these compulsory for us. So make sure you understand that. These things are not for Allah to gain anything from. They are for us to gain everything from. Okay? So once a creator creates a creation, which of course we are the creation, he, Azza wa Jal, is the creator. He knows what's best for the creator and what's best for the journey. So if I send you to, let's just say, France right now, you have to go to Paris and you have to be there in, let's just say, 72 hours. I will make it compulsory for you to, or let's just say, if I were to send you to Antarctica, okay, that's a better example. It's going to be more clear. I will make it compulsory for you to carry some money. I will make it compulsory for you to carry some very, very warm clothes. I will make it compulsory for you to pack a lot of food. I will make it compulsory for you not to go alone, right? Just like that, when he sent us to this planet, he made a lot of things compulsory. Okay? And all of these remind us, just like if I send you to Antarctica, and if I tell you, put a lot of money in your pocket, put a lot of warm clothes in your suitcase, those warm clothes are going to remind you of how helpful I was when I was forcing these clothes in your suitcases, right? But when you're going to be in that cold Antarctic wind, you're going to need those warm clothes. Just like that. These warm clothes, they remind you of how sincere I am to you and how helpful I am to you. We should be looking at the prayers and the zakat and the fasting of how Allah has helped us. In what? What does a prayer do? Prayer connects everybody. Okay? Fasting makes you get connected to everybody who cannot afford food. Okay? Zakat literally connects you with every poor in the world who cannot afford anything. Hajj brings everybody together, makes everybody experience everybody coming together in the exact same place, the same time. There cannot be Hajj in England or America or local Hajj is being performed any in every country, or that's just every 100 miles. No, just one place, everybody's got to show up. It's like a town hall for everyone who has had the same purpose. A town hall meeting, that's our Hajj. Okay, why? Everybody coming together. That's what Allah was telling everybody coming together. This is not a one-man job. Once we're together, we work as a team and everybody wins. So prayer was helping me. Fasting was helping me. Us, actually. Hajj was helping us. Zakat was helping us. Okay, it's not helping Allah. Allah does not need anybody's help or any creation's help. Okay, Allah helps. Allah does not need help. Okay.
Alwina, if you ask your question, we'll make this the last question because we've had an hour now. So
yes,
we'll finish with this question. And then if anybody wants to make any comments on this podcast or say anything, then you say Amra and Alwina will do the final outro and we can finish, inshallah. Okay, Alwina, go ahead.
Right. My question is that do you think the situation in Palestine can be resolved by our generation?
Not only that, I believe that it's your generation that can be resolved, but I believe that it is only your generation that can resolve this. Okay? You better, because you're 16, right? Yeah, you better up your game right now. Every single day counts. Every single day, Alvina, every single day. You better be moving towards the solution. I'll tell you how a girl in England moves towards the solution of Palestine. You, first of all, you read. You read so much that nobody should know more about what's going on actually in that region than you, okay? You should not be listening about what's going on in Palestine. You should be reading about it. You should be teaching the history of Palestine to everybody, of what went wrong at what point and how many times and who was behind this and how did we learn from that, okay? First, that's job one. Number two, Alvina, you better find at least 10,000 people in the next 5-6 years. 10,000 girls, Alvina, in Sydney, Melbourne, Miami, New York, Houston, Anchorage, Alaska, Alvina, Anchorage, Toronto, Vancouver, Paris, Frankfurt, Berlin, Stockholm, Copenhagen, Oslo. Connect everybody together, Alvina. Girls your age. I don't want you to connect all the politicians and every old man and old woman. No. Girls your age. They're going to know what you're talking about. They're going to know why you're talking to them. They're going to know how easy it is to understand you. Connect with them and make sure they get connected for a reason. Okay? And you need 10,000 people writing and speaking about this, so that everyone under your age cannot make those two big grave sins that guys and girls my age did. You know what that one sin was? Not even knowing what's going on. Number two, since we didn't know, we didn't care what was going on. Okay, Alvina, in 10 years, I need you to become the most prosperous, progressed. I need money in your bank account. I need influence of thousands of people listening to you, what you have to write and say. You have time, Alvina. You have 5 years. You better get the job done. Okay? And you're not going to be able to do it alone. I'm telling you this right now. I'm assuming you're from Pakistan or India. Your name. Make sure you understand your message should go across regions. Arabian girls should be listening to you. African girls should be listening to you. Girls in, America or all the rest of the planet where Muslim girls are your age, and make sure message is going through across religion as well. Christian girls your age should be listening to you. You have to be sensible, very most sensible girl in the planet about that problem. You should be you. If you're less than that, you are a problem. You are the problem if you're less than that. Because that is the problem that the last two generations did. We are a bunch of spectators. Spectators are the biggest problems in Islam. Because you have enough spectators, everybody else wants to be a spectator, because that's a very bloody game being played in Palestine. Nobody wants to get bloody, right? So if everyone comes into the stadium, they're like, you know what, I'd rather be a spectator. At least they're safe. They're just feeling bad Muslims. Feeling bad Muslims is not enough, sorry. And we all know that. You're old enough to know feeling bad is not going to solve Palestine. Doing the right thing is going to solve Palestine. And I'm telling you, you need to give yourself a numerical target. 10,000. That's a number. 10,000 girls, your age. Find them. Connect with them. Social media, whatever platform you're going to create, connect with them. Once you have that number, you'll know exactly how fast things move from there. Okay? You'll know. Don't worry. In 5 years, you're going to be 21. You'll be doing a lot of other things for your own, progress and your personal development, career, and whatever. You'll know what you can give to 10,000 people and what they can give to you. Don't worry. But first things first, get these people, get Muslims together. Your generation can do it, because our generation was stuck up in a lot of castles, which we didn't even know they didn't exist. Your generation has cut through the clutter, okay? You guys talk real, you guys ask real questions. Unless something makes sense to you, you don't stop believing it. Your mommy and my mommy, actually, your mommy should be, in my age. So, and my mommy, which means your grandmommy, okay? They just used to believe whatever everybody told them. You are not that girl, Alvina. You ask questions. You get to the bottom of the real things. Like, you know what? If it's not going to make sense to me, I'm not going to buy whatever you're selling. That's the difference between my mommy, your mommy, and you. Okay? That's the potential Allah has given you, because you were born inside the age of YouTube and information, Google and whatever. You can read up anything. So if someone is making a fool out of you, then you have a lot to do with that. Okay? Nobody should be able to make a fool out of you. My grandmother did not have the internet. Whatever somebody told her, she had to believe. Because she can't go to Palestine and see what's actually going on, right? My mother, she had the TV. Whatever they put in media, she had to believe. She can't go to Palestine to see. You, on the other hand, you're connected to every human being in the world. You're already connected. You're not messaging it. You start messaging now, okay? Structure your message. If you're not messaging sensible things, people are not going to listen to you, let alone connect with you. People only connect with sensible people. You only connect with sensible people. So you better be the most sensible girl. And I'm just giving you a tiny little region on the planet. It is the smallest region on the planet in terms of the proportion of the kind of countries there are in the planet. A lot of cities in my country are bigger than Palestine and Israel combined. Okay, that tiny of a problem in terms of geography. You better read up whatever's going on there. Okay? Alvina, are you with me? You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So get your act together, Alvina. It's an everyday job. It's an everyday job. You can't, no off days, I'm sorry. You got to read up. Every day should be better than yesterday in terms of your development, okay?
Inshallah.
So why don't you give a lecture without, let's just not just talk the talk, right? Let's just walk the talk, eh? Why don't you give a lecture on the Palestine-Israel conflict of, let's just say, a couple of hours, and I want to schedule it on my platforms whenever you're ready. Alvina?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to introduce you to 10,000 people. All you have to do is be sensible. Your 10,000 people target will be achieved.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you're going to deliver a lecture about Palestine, the cause, and the solutions. Whatever the solutions are, you and I are going to go through the solution later on. Don't worry with that before the lecture. But the history and the real details, your lecture should tell them what they did not know already. That's
Okay.
where the magic is. They'll be like, whoa, we didn't even know that. Where did you come up with that detail from? And you're going to have to reference everything, okay? Don't worry. A lot of people, most of the people don't know most of the things about Israel or Palestine, right? So it's a pretty easy cake to bake. Okay?
Okay.
So how much time do you want for this?
What's the date?
This is October.
So like I think maybe November, like start of November.
No, take end of November. Let's just schedule it in the 1st of December.
Okay.
Okay? We're going to do a first draft on the 1st of December. Let's just say 25th of November. We're going to do a first draft so that we would know how well you prepared for it. Okay?
Okay.
First of all, look up all the books, schedule all the books. You have not taken enough time on the calendar if you do not know a lot of whatever's going on in Palestine already. But if you're going to start from scratch, 1 month is not enough.
Okay.
Okay? We're going to do a first draft in the first week, last week of November.
Okay.
But this will be attended by hundreds and thousands of people, that lecture. Inshallah, okay?
Inshallah. Yeah.
You up for it?
Yeah.
Good job. There you go. We have, oh my God, this is big. Ravina, team leader, eh? My first team leader. Inshallah.
MashaAllah.
Inshallah.
MashaAllah.
Thank you so much, kids.
I'm
I cannot thank you enough for the way you've tried to understand whatever I just told you, okay? And I hope most of it just went through. And we're going to talk about a lot of things, special, exciting things about what you are going to read up and what you're going to do, especially in school and with your friends. I'm going to give you a lot of little tasks which are going to create magic in your in your circles, and they're going to start to look up to you right away. I'll tell you those things in the next sessions, okay? Inshallah.
Amra, go ahead, and then Alwina, if you close, inshallah.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please leave your comments and your questions in the comment section, and please listen up for more of the Sahil's podcasts. We hope you enjoyed.
Well, I did, so I hope everybody did. And we're going to do this often enough so that more kids can come in together, and you five can become the team leaders of the rest of the people by doing a few things. For example, whoever you're going to invite, which you are going to invite, you're going to have to go through why they want to come so that they would know this is such a serious thing. All you have to do is ask, why do you want to be a part of this? And what kind of questions are you bringing? Okay. Once you're going to go through those questions, you'll understand whether this kid or boy or girl is ready for it or not. And they'll understand that you mean business. This is not just anybody's job. Okay. So everybody will want to be there because it's going to become a big deal. Okay. So it was our first meeting, and it's got to be about 50% boring. I get it. Don't worry. First meetings are like that. But next meetings are going to be fun and excitement and a bit of games. Okay.
Inshallah.
We'll be coming together, inshallah, soon, and on a set frequency more often, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Don't forget, Sir Sahil is on tour in the UK right now, so you can come and see him live across the country. To find out more details, go to www.islamicmessagingsystem.com.